Good afternoon, my name is Khrystyna. I am from Ukraine, 40 years old. At the end of the last year, unexpectedly, I was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma, metastasis in the liver. Of course, nobody was prepared for it. A banal situation happened. Somewhere in the summer or at the end of the autumn, I had a mole traumatized on my back. A mole just like one of the many that everyone has, and nobody paid attention to it. There is no information on melanoma, on moles. Nobody had heard of it or paid special attention to it. The summer was hot, radioactivity. It, of course, played a role, and the mole started to progress. When I turned to a clinic, I was told it was too late to do anything. After the surgery, they offered the first course of chemotherapy, palliative chemotherapy, and according to the doctor's prognosis, 6 to 7 months to 1 year maximum were given until the predestined outcome. It is, of course, hard to describe in words the condition of a person who hears such things. I am somebody very far from medicine, and it was difficult for me to understand in such a situation what to do. I wanted to live. I have 2 wonderful kids. I refused to accept such a verdict from the doctors, and so I began. I simply began to do active work searching for information. I didn't place the responsibility on anybody else. That is, I understood that I have to fight for my life myself. Nobody will be able to help me in any way if I don't help me myself. And it happened so that pretty quickly I learned to navigate myself in all of it. And, as I understand now, what was happening to me 3 months ago, compared to what is happening to me now, it can only be remembered as a terrible nightmare, because after the first chemotherapy, my condition rapidly deteriorated, including blood parameters. The disease started to progress fast. I simply didn't look like myself anymore. I saw that in front of my eyes. Everyone accepted it as a normal course of events. In other words, anything different would be not possible. It is as it is and must be accepted. In my country, they cannot and do not want to treat, even to perform examinations. I had to do it all alone, and to my own fearful risk, I had to search for some other variants. When I accidentally came across the information on Rigvir, everyone took it so skeptically, plus a different country, the distance, and how do you imagine it? As if it were something quite unrealistic. Well, I don't know. I think I understood based on intuition that this is what I need from all the rest. For a while, my mind was overtaken by Rigvir. Just one thought. Rigvir, that's the one. Just the question remained, how to organize it all, how to receive it, how to do it. Well, to that moment, I already had stopped relying on doctors or anybody's assistance. Just relied on God. And it worked for me. From the very moment, for me, it worked so well, as if pieces of a jigsaw were put together. From the 9th of January, I took the first course of chemotherapy, and already at the end of the February 1st started Rigvir. Well, I can say that the first 3 injections went one after another for 3 days, and right after those 3 injections I started feeling completely different. To talk of any side effects of Rigvir, there are simply none. To me, it was obvious that chemotherapy had been destroying me, which was more of a consequence of fluoxetine and not the disease itself, while Rigvir managed to put me back in one hole to such an extent. For 3 months now, I have been using the medication, and basically I live the life that I have always lived before. I take care of my children, do things, I don't feel sick at all, and I don't even discuss it with anybody. The only thing, according to the schedule, I make the injection, make a blood test, send the results to my dear doctors, and the rest goes according to my regular rhythm. I feel great. When they look at my previous and present blood tests, nobody actually believes that those are my results, that something like that could happen over 3 months. According to the latest CT scan, the number of metastases I had in the liver has decreased, and before it was close to the number of stars in the sky. Nobody even counted them. Now, according to the ultrasound results, it is hard for them to find it. Yes, metastases are still there, of course, but not in the same amount and size. Subcutaneous metastases are practically gone. Metastases in the lymph nodes are significantly smaller. And I myself can feel that it is like the earth and the sky. It cannot even be compared. I am only sorry that I lost some time and didn't find it sooner. If there hadn't been the first chemotherapy, everything would have gone on a much higher note. People who do get to see my tests and myself, they look and don't believe. They call it a miracle. So, may it be a miracle. Then it means we need to believe in miracles. But in reality, very much depends on the person. You should never lose hope, regardless of the others saying you are sentenced and it's incurable. Turns out it is just a disease. Yes, a serious disease. Yes, it demands a certain attitude and actions to itself, but it's curable. Earlier, tuberculosis and some other diseases were considered incurable. And so you simply cannot give up in any case. Stage 4, metastasis in the liver, it is bad. Nothing good about it. But it can all be treated. I am a living example to it. If I could do it, then you and the others can do it. People should not die from, it is so banal, simply from a mole. On the whole, I am feeling as an absolutely happy person. Well, I don't know, probably there are some analogues, some alternatives, but Rigvir, it is, to my mind, the medicine that should be used in such situations, with such diagnosis, the best there can be. Like some magic pill, it puts one back on the feet without any pains or side effects, absolutely. It is an injection of happiness, a load of energy. This small vial, when I first held it in my hands, it seemed to me like something. But no, I believed. I knew for sure Rigvir will help me, regardless of what people would say. My children and I believed. Of course, I feel very sorry for the people who couldn't comprehend the situation in time, who couldn't find this right treatment. Statistically, in my country, 3,000 people. Yes, I think in this year 3,000 people were diagnosed with melanoma, and 1,000 of them has already passed away. 1,000! To me, it is a huge number, so more attention should be paid to informing people, offering people more variants. There are possibilities, schemes, effective medication. 3 months! Just in one course, chemotherapy did so much damage that it seemed to me it will take many long months to at least somehow return it to the normal. Долгие месяцы, чтобы как-то привести это в норму. И вот, пожалуйста, результат буквально он налицо. I believe by looking at me, nobody will tell that I have such a problem, although to me the problem is already solved, and we are talking of some short extra time period to get it all back into the normal. Afterwards, simply following, maintaining, remembering it is there.
верить и помнить, что вот оно есть. Конечно, это уже на всю жизнь дружба с
Of
Ригвиром.
course, my friendship with Rigvir is now certain to last for the rest of my life. There can be no other way. But still, it is not the end. I would say, God bless the inventor of the medicine. She must be happy to see her achievements from above.
На небесах радуется, видя свои результаты. Вот она. А у нас в стране
In my country, it is still believed to be the end and that no other variants are available. That's the situation.
и вариантов никаких других нет. Вот такая вот ситуация.